Thank you for joining for another episode of Project Geekology. I am one of your hosts, Anthony. I am actually by myself today, and today's episode is special because it's actually our first mini episode. And so we came up with the idea of mini episodes because we wanted to be able to come out with frequent content and content that covers current events such as award shows or anything that we want to stay up to date with, topics we have already covered on episodes. And so yes, this is the idea of the mini episode. And so like I said, today I am by myself, but the cool thing about today's episode is that we are going to be talking about the 2022 Game Awards this week. Since Dakota isn't here, I'm not going to really spend too much time about what I've been up to. Mostly what I've been up to is I've mostly been playing video games such as God of War, and there is Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Reunion that I have actually been hopping on. Also, that is a remake of, or no, that's not a remake, that is a remaster of the PSP title of the same name minus the reunion. And so, since this is going to be a smaller episode, let's just hop right on into it. So this is the 2022 Game Awards, and I'm not going to hop right into the game of the year just yet, but we'll talk about best game direction. So for best game direction, the nominees were Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Immortality, and Stray. And so I know all of those. I hadn't really dived into Immortality, but Stray was pretty cool. I would say for me the toss-up would have been Elden Ring, God of War, and Horizon Forbidden West, but Elden Ring won that. It is well deserved because Elden Ring is a really cool game, a game that From Software partnered with George R.R. Martin. So you have the creator of the Game of Thrones series that partnered with a video game studio to make a really cool game. So we're going to talk about best narrative. So the nominees for that were A Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, and Immortality. For a lot of these categories, you're going to be hearing a lot of the same names. A lot of these are blockbusters that are meant to win these awards. So for best narrative, God of War Ragnarok won that, which for sure definitely deserved that because it's a great game. Best art direction, the nominees were Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Scorn, and Stray. So I've played all of these. Scorn was a little weird, but Elden Ring won best art direction, which was really good. Best score and music, that's definitely one of my favorite categories. I love scores in movies and video games, and so the nominees for that were A Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Metal Hellsinger, and Xenoblade Chronicles. God of War Ragnarok won that, and it's the soundtrack for that is fantastic. Best audio design, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and that's a remake, or they rebooted that series. Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Gran Turismo 7, and Horizon Forbidden West. And so God of War Ragnarok won that. I would say that went hand in hand with best score and music, but audio design, obviously is the background stuff, the voices, not so much the music side. Best performance. So we got Ashley Birch, who plays Aloy in Horizon Forbidden West. Manon Gage as Marissa Marcel in Immortality, Christopher Judge as Kratos in God of War Ragnarok, Charlotte McBurney as Amicia de Rune in A Plague Tale Requiem, and forgive me for butchering that name, Sunny Sujic as Atreus in God of War Ragnarok. Christopher Judge won that, and hands down definitely deserves that. He does a fantastic voicing in both the first and in Ragnarok, and so I totally agree with that. Games for Impact, we have a few different games in this one. One is called A Memoir Blue, As Dusk Falls, Citizen Sleeper, Endling Extinction is Forever, Hindsight, and I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. and As Dusk Falls won that one. Best ongoing game: Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Genshin Impact. And Final Fantasy 14 won that. Best independent game: Cult of the Lamb, Neon White, Sifu, Stray, and Tunic. Stray won that. That game is about the protagonist that you play as a cat, and that one is actually pretty interesting. It's kind of like a cyberpunk future. It's really cool. Best mobile game: Apex Legends Mobile, Diablo Immortal, Genshin Impact, Marvel Snap, and Tower of Fantasy. Now, Genshin Impact and Tower of Fantasy, those are two very similar games, but the game that won that was Marvel Snap. I'm actually really happy about that because I really enjoy that game. I have a few friends that I've introduced this game to, and they absolutely love it. It's really, really fun if you have not tried it out. It's a card game that you can actually play on PC or mobile, so that's a really fun game. Best community support: Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, No Man's Sky. And Final Fantasy 14 won that game. Best AR/VR game: After the Fall, Among Us VR, Bone Lab, Moss Book 2, Red Matter 2. And Moss Book 2 won that. Innovation in accessibility: As Dusk Falls, God of War Ragnarok, Return to Monkey Island, The Last of Us Part 1, The Quarry. And God of War Ragnarok won that one. Very nice. Best action game. So now we're getting into some of the actual awards for genre. So best action game is Bayonetta 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Neon White, Sifu, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Bayonetta 3 won that, and that is on the Nintendo Switch. Best action/adventure. So the nominees for that are A Plague Tale Requiem, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Tunic. And God of War won that one. Best role-playing game. And so we got Elden Ring, Live a Live, I think I said that right, Pokemon Legends Arceus, Triangle Strategy, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and Elden Ring won that one. Best fighting game: DNF Duel, Multiverses, JoJo Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R, The King of Fighters 15. Wow, we got a lot of those games. And Sifu. Multiverses won that. Multiverses is a Smash Bros style game in the Warner Bros universe. So you have Shaggy versus Batman and stuff. It's an interesting game. Best family game: Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, Mario and Rabbids Spark of Hope, Nintendo Switch Sports, Splatoon 3, and Kirby won that one. I'm actually surprised that Lego Star Wars didn't win that one. That was actually a really fun game. Best sports/racing game: F1 22, FIFA 23, NBA 2K23, Gran Turismo 7, Ollie World 7. I don't even know what game that is. Gran Turismo 7 won that, which I'm not surprised with because the other games, they come out every year and not much really changes from year to year with them. Best sim/strategy game: Dune Spice Wars. Didn't even know there was a Dune game that came out. Mario and Rabbids Spark of Hope, Total War Warhammer 3, 2 Point Campus, Victoria 3, and the Mario Rabbids game won. Best multiplayer game: Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Multiverses, Overwatch 2, Splatoon 3, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Splatoon 3 won that. That's a pretty fun game that's on the Nintendo. Best debut indie game: Neon White, Norco, Stray, Tunic, and Vampire Survivors. Stray won that one. Most anticipated game: Final Fantasy 16, Hogwarts Legacy, Resident Evil 4, Starfield, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. and Legend of Zelda won that. This has been anticipated for such a long time, so I'm not surprised that that's there. Starfield was announced a long time ago, but the Legend of Zelda really has that IP built up. Obviously, there's going to be some groundswell when it comes to that. Resident Evil 4, that's a remake, so there's not going to be that much excitement. There is excitement, but we want some new Zelda, of course. So for best adaptation, there's Arcane, Cyberpunk Edge Runners, The Cuphead Show, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Uncharted, and Arcane won that. Arcane was absolutely awesome. Arcane is a Netflix adaptation of League of Legends. It brings the lore and world to a TV show format. Best esports game, Counter-Strike Go, Dota 2, League of Legends, Rocket League, Valorant, and Valorant won that. We had 2 Riot games on there, League of Legends being the other one. I'm surprised that Overwatch 2 wasn't on there. There's a couple of sections on here that I'm not going to really cover, like best esports athlete and best esports team. I'm sorry for those of you that are really avid followers of esports. I'm not really that much outside of maybe Overwatch League, so I will, and content creator. Alrighty, so game of the year. The nominees were A Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I'm actually surprised that Stray and Xenoblade are on there. A little bit with Plague Tale Requiem also. I would say the 3 heaviest hitters on here were Elden Ring, God of War, and Horizon. But Elden Ring won that, and they totally deserved that. God of War would have deserved it too. And with that, that was the Game Awards 2022. A lot of these games definitely deserved some awards. I'm actually surprised that Overwatch 2 wasn't on more. I know I sound biased. I'm a big fan of Overwatch 2, but I get it. There's a lot to be desired when it comes to that game. But congratulations to all the studios and the people who worked really hard on these video games. I know that building these worlds and creating these characters, it's just not easy at all, because you have to really visualize and put it on screen. So for me, I would say I'm a huge gamer. I have such an appreciation for this. And yes, video games are art. It is art. Don't fight me on it. It is art. Just like books, just like cinema, it is cinema that you interact with. That's how I see it. It's a book that you interact with. And honestly, there's been so many times that I've read books or seen movies that I've wanted to participate in that action. It gets your blood pumping, and so that's what video games are. That's how I see it, especially these very cinematic ones. And so thank you for listening to this mini episode of Project Geekology. These episodes, I would say, will range anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes. I just really wanted to cover a little bit on the Video Game Awards. If there's any topics that you would like us to cover, hit us up on our Twitter. It's at pgeekology. And we also have a Instagram that is Project Geekology. We appreciate it when you all take the time to review our podcasts, because it means a lot. We love to read them on air. So give us a great 5-star review. It really helps us out when it comes to the algorithm. It pushes us up higher for more people to see. We love to create content for you all, and with these mini episodes we plan to be able to knock out more and more for you all to be able to enjoy. Don't worry, we're gonna still have those nice juicy hour-long ones, but for the time being, here is our first mini episode. Thank you.